Hello guys, today I'm looking a little bit less gothy, but I hope you'll forgive me that. And today's video is going to be something a little bit different. It's going to be a review of two games, and I kind of want to, show you the pros and cons of both games. And that will be Skyrim and Oblivion, which are Skyrim is the fifth part in the Elder Scrolls series, and Oblivion is the fourth part in the Elder Scrolls series. Now, the reason that I wanted to make this video is that Skyrim is a very, popular and praised game, and as much as I think that Skyrim is pretty cool, I think that Oblivion is a little bit better, and it just doesn't get all the praise that it deserves. So I'm going to show you guys what, in my opinions, are the pros and cons of both the games, and which one is better to play in which circumstances. Let's get going. Let's start off with Skyrim, and obviously let's start off with the pros, the advantages. Okay, so the first thing that I think is a huge advantage is that the world of Skyrim is very open and it's very big. There's so many things to discover, there's so many quests, so many dungeons, and there's just so many things to do, which I think is a good thing if you're looking for an RPG kind of game. Another thing that I think is pretty cool, this is I think only in the add-on. Oh no, this isn't in the add-on. Okay, anyway, you can be a werewolf or a vampire, and just as you have normal skills, when you've got a character, you've got special skills that you can improve as a vampire or a werewolf, like the perks. I think that the werewolf is in the game, and I'm not sure whether the vampire is only on the add-on or whether it's in the normal game as well, because I've got all the add-ons and I just don't really know. And another thing, this is in the add-on as well, that I think is pretty cool about Skyrim is that you get to build your own house and have kids and stuff like that. This is a little bit like the Sims game, but I still think it's a cool concept to, put something like this in the game. Another thing I think that is pretty cool is the dragons, that you can collect shouts, and when you kill a dragon you absorb its soul, and after that you can just unlock the shouts that you've got with the dragon souls. I think that's a pretty cool thing. And when it comes to the last add-on, Dragonborn, I think, where you travel to the land of Apocrypha, the world of Apocrypha really, where Hermias Mora, one of the Daedric princes, resides, is a very good add-on because the story is very original and it's very cool and it's definitely worth a playthrough. Also, the island of Solstheim is pretty well made and differs from Skyrim a lot, which is pretty cool as well. Now let's go on into the cons. The disadvantage that pisses me off the most is that most of the quests are basically the same thing. Like, you've got the main quest lines, and then you've got the side quests, the miscellaneous quests. And when it comes to side quests, miscellaneous quests, mostly miscellaneous quests, or however you pronounce that, there's basically only two types of quests. I mean, from time to time you get something else, but it's usually kill something or find something. And yeah, that's pretty cool, but like after some time that gets a bit boring. But okay, we've also got the major quest lines, like the guild quest lines, but what pisses me off is that they're basically all about the same thing, not counting the main quest line. Because, spoiler alert here, when you've got the guilds, the Mages Guild quest line, there's this huge Eye of Magnus, and now there's a traitor, we have to kill the traitor. Later on, there's Thieves Guild quest line, oh my god, let's collect a lot of things, oh no, there's a traitor amongst our midst, we need to find out who it is and kill him. Dark Brotherhood, oh, let's go on a killing spree, we are assassins, oh no, someone betrayed us, now everyone wants to kill us. We have to find out who the traitor is. And in my opinion, it just gets boring after some time, because even if the plot lines differ a bit in the main quest lines, it's basically the same thing in my opinion, and I think that they could have put a bit more creativity into it. Another thing that I think is a disadvantage in Skyrim is that every dungeon looks exactly the same. And yeah, I know before any one of you says that, yeah, but it's because of the Dwemer thing, you know, it's about the plot, that Dwemers live there, and so all the stuff is, you know, looks the same. Yeah, I know that it's part of the plot, I know why it looks the same. I just don't really like it. I think that they could change the dungeons a bit from time to time, that they looked a bit different. There was this one world and one quest line, I can't remember which one now, where you had to go like down below underground, and there were like these big floating blue things. It was very, very pretty, and there were red nunneries there. I can't remember what the place is called, but yeah, that was beautiful and that was original, but most of the rest dungeons pretty much the same. And the last, I think, thing that is a disadvantage to me, since we're talking about add-ons as well, the world of Apocrypha is pretty boring. I mean, when you had the previous parts and there was a Daedric Prince, you got to explore the whole world, and you know, there were things you could do in it, and now Apocrypha is just very small. There's only 2 or 3 monsters, and you know, it's just not that much really, although I understand it might be something to do with Hermes more than the fact that the creators just didn't want to be creative. Okay, let's get on with Oblivion. Let's start with the advantages. In my opinion, Oblivion has all the advantages that Skyrim lacks. So the diversity, most of all. And yes, I know it's because it's in Cyrodiil, and Cyrodiil is like kind of Rome, and Rome had all those different territories. So, you know, in Cyrodiil you've got a bit of Nords, you've got a bit of Khajiit, you've got a little Elvish culture and all that, and Islads and all that stuff. So yeah, I know that Cyrodiil in Oblivion has the diversity in the way it looks because of the fact that there are so many cultures in it, but still, I just found that very cool and definitely much more interesting to travel and to look at other places. Second thing, I love the plot lines because once you start playing a certain quest line, you just stick to it, and it just, you know, takes you all in, and it's very interesting and it's very well made, and it's just cool in my opinion. So yeah, something that Skyrim lacks, in my opinion. The thing is, I think that the music in Oblivion is great. Skyrim has good music, but it's got only like a few soundtracks on its soundtrack, and when it's battle, it's usually the same song or soundtrack or whatever. When it's not battle, you know, mostly the same thing plays, and in Oblivion you've got a diversity. This is much, much more. Also, I really enjoyed the add-ons, but the one I enjoyed the most is the Shivering Isle add-on, when you travel to the Daedric Prince Sheogorath's land, and this is what I really enjoyed because there's so many quests, not only the main quest line, but just, you know, side quests in the Shivering Isles, and you get to explore it and stuff like that, and I really think that is something cool because I really find the Daedric thing, the Daedric princes and all this lore in the Elder Scrolls very interesting, so I enjoyed that a lot. Now, when it comes to disadvantages, in my opinion, Oblivion doesn't have a lot of disadvantages, but I try to point out things that might be irritating to other people, so I wouldn't favor Oblivion too much over Skyrim. First of all, there are like 3 or 4 male actors and 3 or 4 female actors, and all the characters have the same voices. In my opinion, that's just pretty hilarious, but I understand that that might be annoying to somebody, that everyone sounds basically the same. Another thing is the graphic design. I personally really enjoyed how the game looked, even though it wasn't too realistic, but I understand that some people might prefer realistic games over, you know, lessly graphically inclined games, and if you're one of those people who prefers more realistic looking games, then Oblivion would probably have this disadvantage to you. So one thing that might be a disadvantage to some people is Oblivion is way harder than Skyrim to play. It's harder to get to the next level. It's much harder to defeat some bosses. I mean, when I played Skyrim and there's a boss, I just kind of made my character an archer, got her very quickly to all of the 100 points, and I basically take around 2-3 minutes to kill a boss, and that's it. In Oblivion it's much harder. When I had a boss in Oblivion, I could spend like 2 days fighting the boss and saving every half a minute because I was bound to get killed by that boss. So in my opinion it's cool because I like a game that gives me some, something harder, but I understand that some people prefer games that are lighter and easier to play, so this might be a disadvantage to you. All in all, both games in my opinion are pretty cool, but Skyrim is a game that you'd rather play just, to chill, a game you play in between games. Not something that you'd stay in for long, because since all the quest lines are mostly the same, it just might get boring to you, and I've got like 80% of the trophies in Skyrim, so trust me, I've played a lot of Skyrim. But I mostly play it in between games, because if I play it longer than a week, it just gets boring to me. So Skyrim, in my opinion, is a game that is really cool to play in between games, and it's really cool to play when you've got nothing else to do. But Oblivion, on the other hand, is something that is cooler to play if you just want to play a certain game for a certain time, and you just go and play Oblivion because it's much harder and also has, a nicer plotline. More interesting in my opinion. I've played every single quest in Oblivion, all the add-ons, everything. Yes, I don't have a life. Yes, I am aware of that. Never mind. So both games are cool. It really depends what you like more. I prefer Oblivion, although I understand why Skyrim is favored by most people. I hope you liked this review. I hoped I might have helped you if you weren't deciding to buy a certain game, and please like, comment something nice, and subscribe to my potato face and show me my cat. She's right there. I don't know, maybe I can try and show her to you. Hello, Kit Kat. Hello. Anyway, so thanks for watching, and bye.